Before I start this story, I need to warn you, it is about the night I found an old, dusty diary in my attic that wasn't mine. I had been cleaning, throwing out boxes I hadn't opened in years. The diary was hidden behind an old trunk, covered in dust and cobwebs. The cover was leather, cracked, and worn. I opened it slowly. The pages were yellowed, fragile. As I read the first entry, my stomach twisted. The handwriting was eerily familiar. My own handwriting. I stared at the page. Impossible. I hadn't written this. That happens sometimes, memory tricks, déjà vu. But the dates were current. Yesterday. Today. Each page described things I had done, things I was thinking, even conversations I had had alone in my apartment. My hands trembled. I flipped to the next page. Same thing. Events I had lived, thoughts I had had, written down in my own handwriting. Only I hadn't written them. The diary chronicled my life perfectly. Until the last entry. The words chilled me to the bone. Tomorrow, it will be your turn. I froze. The air in the attic grew colder. Shadows seemed longer. Something felt wrong. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I sat on the floor of the attic, clutching the diary, my hands shaking. I told myself it had to be a coincidence. Maybe someone had found my address and decided to play a cruel joke. That happens. But the diary contained intimate details only I would know, my thoughts, my habits, the things I whispered to myself when alone. I flipped through more pages. The handwriting never changed. My handwriting. Perfectly matching mine. I tried to rationalize. Maybe I had written it in a sleepwalking state. That happens. People do strange things without realizing it. But the diary described things I had never written down, or even thought of. Events that hadn't even happened yet. My heart raced. I backed away from the diary, but something compelled me to look at the last few entries. The last entry was different. Bigger letters. Messier. Angry. Almost alive. It read, "Tonight, you will see me. Don't try to run." My stomach twisted. I wanted to throw the diary, burn it, anything. But my hands refused to let go. Something in the air shifted. Heavy. Cold. Watching. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I forced myself to stand, still holding the diary, my eyes scanning the attic for anything unusual. Shadows seemed to stretch and twist, even though the moonlight from the small window should have cast normal shapes. I told myself it was just my imagination. Night tricks. That happens. But a subtle sound reached my ears, a faint whisper. Soft. Almost inaudible. I froze. "I'm here," it said. My stomach twisted. I spun around. Nothing. Just the dusty boxes, old furniture, and the diary still in my hands. I tried to convince myself it was the wind, moving through the cracks of the attic. That happens. But the whisper came again, closer this time. Clearer. My name. Spoken in my own voice. "You can't hide." My hands shook violently. I wanted to drop the diary and run, but my legs felt like lead. The air grew colder, heavier, pressing down on me. My heartbeat raced. Something was in the attic with me. Watching. Patient. Waiting. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I backed away slowly, keeping my eyes on the shadows that seemed to shift unnaturally around the attic. The whisper repeated, louder this time, I'm watching. My heart pounded violently. I told myself to stay calm. Maybe it was my imagination. Night anxiety. That happens. But the air grew colder with each passing second. Goosebumps crawled across my arms. I dropped the diary, and it landed with a thud that echoed strangely in the attic. The whisper stopped for a brief moment. Silence. Then a movement behind me. Slow. Deliberate. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't dare turn around. Step. Pause. Step. The sound moved closer. The shadows stretched, twisting into shapes I couldn't recognize. My chest tightened. I forced myself to breathe. In, out. In, out. Logic. Safety. But I knew deep down it was no trick of the mind. Something, someone, was in the attic with me. Patient. Waiting. I wanted to run, but my legs refused to obey. The diary lay on the floor, open to the last entry, "Tonight, you will see me." I swallowed hard, dread filling me completely. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I forced myself to take a step backward, my eyes fixed on the shadows that moved unnaturally across the attic floor. The air was thick, heavy, almost suffocating. I told myself it was just fear. Night tricks. That happens. But the shadows didn't obey the moonlight. They shifted independently, stretching toward me, curling around the furniture, and darkening the corners. Then I heard it again, my voice, whispering from somewhere just behind me, "You can't escape." My stomach turned over. I wanted to scream, but my throat was dry. I tried to move toward the ladder leading down from the attic, but my legs felt frozen, heavy as lead. Every instinct screamed to run, yet I couldn't. The diary lay open on the floor, its pages fluttering as if caught in a wind that wasn't there. I noticed that the last entry had changed. The letters had become larger, messier, almost alive. "I am here. I have always been here." My heart pounded in my chest, my hands shaking uncontrollably. The shadows in the attic crept closer, merging, forming a shape that was too dark, too real to ignore. Something was watching. Waiting. Patient. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you. I finally forced myself to look directly at the shadows. They had gathered into a single, formless mass, darker than any darkness I had ever seen. My breath caught in my throat. The air in the attic felt icy, pressing down on me from all sides. I tried to move, to run for the ladder, but my legs refused to obey. The diary on the floor flipped open on its own, pages rustling violently, stopping at the last entry, "Tonight, you will join me." The whisper returned, louder now, surrounding me, "You cannot leave. I have been waiting." My hands shook as I reached toward the ladder, but the shadows shifted, blocking my path. Panic surged through me. I closed my eyes, hoping it was a nightmare. When I opened them again, the shadows had receded slightly, but the presence remained, watching, patient, eternal. I grabbed the diary, heart racing, and ran down the ladder, never looking back. The attic fell silent once more, but I knew it wasn't gone. It waits. Always waiting. For those watching on YouTube or Facebook from a computer, PC, or television, please subscribe or follow the channel or page. Thank you.